and Rust Bulldog, illustrated by Carol Hager. Alejandro was returning from a long day, riding the Estancia with the gauchos when he spotted a luxury SUV parked in front of the main house. The heavy wooden door swung open, and his mother, Melissa, appeared alongside a tall, fierce-looking man Alejandro couldn't recognize. "Please consider the offer," said Senora Ortega. "I'm returning 2 weeks to discuss our future plans." The man said with a broad smile. "Together we can save this beautiful place. New core and British accent were unusual on the rock, Patagonian state." So Alejandro was curious. Who was that? He asked his mother as the SUV sped away in a loud cloud along the old road. "Someone with an idea," his mother replied as she turned to go inside. "Please go find Martin. We all need to have a talk." She had never spoken to him that tone before. Alejandro couldn't shake a sense of foreboding as she said for the old gaucho. "What is it?" Martin asked when Alejandro found him. The barber only shrugged and started walking to his house. When they found his mother at the dining table, Martin leaned against the post and sharpened the long blade of his falcon. "I have received an offer to sell Estonia to Mr. Somerset on behalf of Ecotour International," Melissa began. Alejandro was surprised, not only by the offer, but also that his father was including him in the conversation. The mother was including him in his conversation. Since his father's death, 2 years ago, she had relied solely on Martin. Alejandro held back a small smile. "I've always hoped to maintain our land and the true cultural tradition, keep it in the family as it has been for generations. But we have to face the reality that we're losing money. I just don't know how much longer we can keep the place going." Alejandro's heart dropped as he thought his father, who had always said the estancia, the land, people, and animals, was a family. He couldn't bear to think of losing another family member. "What about the new rotation pattern at the smaller floors?" Martin asked. Alejandro's mother gave the gaucho a comforting smile. "They've helped, but it's not enough. And it may be too little, too late. The land is overwhelmed with a sign," she explained. "Ecotour International want to buy the land, build a resort, and create how did he put it? A destination for travelers to experience the legendary gaucho way of life and stunning, beautiful of Patagonia. Not traveler, tourist." Martin almost marked the words. "You thought the same of me when Joseph brought me down from Santiago, but I was in awe of you gauchos with the traditional beret, borbacha, patados, and leather boots," Melissa said. Martin grunted and focused on his falcon, his expression the closest to blushing that Alejandro had ever seen. "They just want to experience a bit of culture, and I can't say I blame them." For a moment, Melissa had a faraway look in her eye, but it disappeared as she stepped back to the reality of the situation. Other estancias have already gone under the mismanagement, desertification, or people just giving up. She continued. "This is a hard life." She rubbed her forehead aside. "Some rest," said Alejandro. I could stay on 5 years if we wanted, with me assisting the young man went. What would we do after that? Alejandro said, trying to keep his anxiety in check. What would happen to Martin and some of the gauchos? Some of them have been here more than 30 years. I'm not sure. His mother has almost in a whisper, but Dad said, Alejandro stopped himself. But as the word called his mother to whiz, as someone had struck her, he didn't need to say Estancia was family. She knew, and this was just as agonizing for her. Do we have to decide right now? Martin asked. 2 weeks, Melissa replied. Then we have 2 weeks to find a solution, Alejandro said, to try to sound upbeat. Even the thought of sailing ranch felt like a step in the goat from a falcon. All right then, Martin's expression was unreadable as he shouted his blade. Don't be late tomorrow, Alejandro. When the greasy man was gone, Melissa stood and went to the kitchen, somehow looking order to Alejandro. We'll figure this out, Mama, he said. The next few days were filled with the hardest work Alejandro has ever done. He saddled old horses, hauled sheep, fixed fending, and hauled feed. He had battlefield an old sheepdog named Lucinda that followed him around like a long-lost sister. In the hot of afternoon, he would listen to gauchos sing and tell stories while passing around meat prepared over a small fire. In the evening, he would sit with his mother, who would ask, what did you learn today? Alejandro, excited, told everything. But when was he done? The fat coat would creep back to his body, and a well of sorrow would begin to fill his heart. When his mother asked the question, he wanted to say he had learned how to save them all from this horrible uncertainty and loss. On the 4th day, Alejandro and Martin came across the guanaco with his legs stuck in the fences. Animal was terrified and exhausted, quickly thrashing his long legs and thin skin. Martin took the lead, creeping slowly but came to his body. Alejandro did his best to imitate the old gaucho's demeanor from a few steps behind. Martin knelt inside the animal, which was breathing heavily and watching him with large brown eyes. As Martin reached out a small pair of wire cutters and snipped a few times, he talked to the animal calmly like a doctor, explaining the procedure to a child. The guanaco, sensing the tension released in its leg, climbed up and leaped away as fast as it could. These are wild animals, Martin said as he returned to the hole. They don't understand fences in the old way. We didn't have any fences on the island yet. We followed the flock all over the mountain. It was harder to protect the sheep, but at least there was always enough grass. Alejandro was silent. Something changed in his mind, but he couldn't figure out what it was exactly. That afternoon, as they drank meat, Alejandro listened. The gaucho told them about seeing a large puma sucking one of the flocks. I never seen one so close to the main building, he said. I find this with a few shots, so you miss, another gaucho said, and they all laughed. She's hungry, Martin said quietly. The chances to starve affect us all. When Alejandro's mother asked him what he had learned that day, he told her about the guanaco and the puma, but he didn't feel the usual excitement. Something felt strange, as if his brain were trying to tie together the two wires that weren't quite long enough. The feeling dissipated over the next few days as Alejandro's mind and body became engulfed in caring for the estancia. Each night, the well of sorrow in his heart filled more and more. They did not have much time left. 5 days before, Mr. Sunset was due to return. Martin sent Alejandro on his own to seek out a sheep that had wandered off while the flock was moved to a new pasture. Alejandro set off on horseback with Lucinda in the direction Martin had indicated. After searching along the coast of glimpse of something that looked like a ship scrambling through an opening in the rocky outcropping distant way. How did she get on the other side of the fence? Asked Lucinda, who barked and planted happily. He left his horse at the fence to graze and walked the rest of it away. Lucinda bounded back and forth, becoming more excited. When they reached the rocky outcropping, Lucinda refused to go through the opening. Fine, Alejandro said. You wait here. The passage was narrow but could easily squeeze. By turning to the side, he quickly realized what attracted a sheep, a small area of deep green grass dotted with white flowers. The sheep was being reluctant, wanting to leave her feet, but Alejandro to manage to coax her through the passage, where Lucinda bought, ready to get her change. Allowed before he followed. He stopped to pick one of the flowers. A yellow tongue proclaimed to his mother after working on the estancia. Back then, the orchids had seen much more for commons, but these were the first. Alejandro had never seen his father die. He was about to leave when he noticed movement of the corner of his eye. A puma stood on the edge, overlooking the patch of grass. It stood on the opening of the yellow eyes. It glanced back and forth, never taking his eyes off the boy. Alejandro returned the hunter gaze, clutching the flower, his hand like a weapon, throwing it back toward the opening. Then, as if resigning itself to something, the cat lay down with a low one, its eye lazily half closing. He almost felt sorry for the beast. It had been stalking the sheep and was ready for a meal, but he drew it. He squeezed his way through the tunnel as quickly as he could not, waiting to find out if the puma was willing to attack a human. Lucinda held the sheep to the fence where the horse grazed. Alejandro felt comforted by the sight. He made his way toward the animal, but his horse still thundered his chest. Placing the flower in his pouch and taking a deep breath, he lifted the big sheep and then fell over the fence. On the other side, looking back, and the rock hit the puma and the orchids. Finally felt safe again. Alejandro climbed into the saddle and nudged his horse forward, but he couldn't push his gloomy pasture, and the puma from his mind were wild, strong, and healthy. The estancia was no longer a place for wild things, but instead a land control, supervised and managed. The fence had protected him just as it protected the sheep, but the fence was also the problem. It was keeping the sheep from rich pasture beyond. Alejandro imagined an estancia with no fence, Some of the sheep might fall to victim to better, like the puma, but the flock were as whole would survive and grow stronger. Watching Lucinda hold the sheep toward the flock far in the distance, he realized he could tell his mother had truly learned something today. Alejandro urged his horse into a gallop. He had talked to Martin and other cultures. It was time to return to the old ways. They could fix this. There was still time.